to keep the government open to avoid a shutdown on Friday. The latest on this with Louisiana Republican Senator Bill Cassidy. Senator, very good to have you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
What will this short-term measure do?
Well, a couple things. One, it funds the government so things keep open. But secondly, a lot of good work on spending bills that was agreed to by both parties may not accomplish as much as we had hoped. And I think thirdly, it's going to kind of mess up Pelosi's advent, if you will. She's going to, assuming she gets the speakership, instead of being able to work on their big, bold initiatives, the first part of their House, Democrats being in control of the House, they're going to have to mess with the budget. So I think it may work to come back and have an ill effect, if you will, for the beginning of Ms. Pelosi's new speakership, assuming she gets it.
Well, but it could also boomerang on you guys, right? I mean, it keeps the things going through February 8th, I believe, Senator. And I'm just wondering whether the president blinked on this. He seemed to make it clear just last week that it was the $5 billion for that wall or bust. What happened?
I think the president's actually concerned about our country as a whole, and he speaks out of his frustration. I share his frustration. We have drugs coming across our border. We have folks coming illegally across our border to have their children, so their children become anchor babies, or they, in effect, they do whether they come here for that purpose or not, which just compounds the problem. And so the president's frustrated. I'm frustrated. On the other hand, I suppose the president made the calculus that if you consider everything, the economy, the prosperity of the American people, it's best to have the short-term CR. Of course, we'd like to secure the border, but we also want the country to continue to do well.
All right, but if this is a preview to coming attraction, I'm not blaming you, sir, or Republicans or Democrats, but the impasse is pretty severe when it comes to funding on the security and other issues that everyone talks on both sides about comprehensive immigration reform that never seems to materialize. Is it your sense then that this is how the next 2 years play out?
I'm not quite sure. Remember in the president's State of the Union speech last year, he offered a better deal than President Obama did on DACA. He offered twice as many kids to become eligible as did President Obama, and a pathway to citizenship in return for securing the southern border. Democrats turned that down. A better deal than Obama gave, but they turned it down. As long as they want a problem to talk about as opposed to a solution to the problem, I'm not sure we'd get any place. But the president's made it clear he wants a solution.
All right. The president also has made it very, very clear that he obviously wants that wall and he wants some funding for it. And I guess they had fished around the possibility of reappropriating funds from other departments or other areas like defense, and then that came up zilch. So if he doesn't get the Democrats to bend on wall funding, is it fair to say there's not going to be a wall?
Well, a couple things. We can secure the southern border in some places without a physical barrier, and that's probably the better way to do it just because of rugged terrain.
Right.
On the other hand, there's some places where a wall absolutely works. I went to McAllen, Texas, and they speak about how you put a wall here and it forces folks coming illegally to break this way or that way, which helps law enforcement. So I'm hoping that Democrats will put securing our southern border, keeping drugs out of the country, as a higher priority than picking a fight with President Trump.
All right, Senator, thank you very, very much. Hope you have a nice Christmas. Good seeing you.
And to you.
All right.